So I receive a lot of the same questions from my students, so I just thought I would answer them all right here. One question I get a lot in particular is, what are 7 chords? I've heard of 7 chords, but I don't really know what they are and I don't know how to use them. I don't understand them at all. So I want to talk about that really quick. And if you stick around till the end, I'm going to be showing all the basic 7 chord shapes based on both the A string and the low E string. You can grab the free chord charts for each example shown by clicking the link in the description below. So a 7 chord is what's known as a quadrad. Say it with me, quadrad. In other words, a quadrad is a chord that's made up of 4 notes, as opposed to a triad, which is made up of only 3 notes. Both triads and quadrads can be found in the same scale. And what's cool about 7 chords is that it takes those pre-existing triads and adds that little extra note to just give the chord a little more flavor. It adds an extra dimension, an extra color, if you want to think of it like that. So for example, let's take an A minor chord and turn it into an A minor 7 chord. As you can see, the A minor triad is made up of the root, the flat third, and the fifth. All we have to do to change this into an A minor 7 is to go a third away from the fifth to find the 4th note, which is going to be known as a flat 7. Was that confusing? Oh, you should probably book a private lesson with me and I'll explain it better. Wink. Anyway, let's take a chord progression using all triads and then swap them out with all 7 chords so you can hear the difference between the two. So hopefully you can hear the difference. I think it's pretty obvious, right? Like, could you hear how the C major 7 chord kind of sounded dreamlike and like pillowy? Pillowy is not really a word, but I like using it anyway. Or how the G7 chord sounded way more jazzy compared to just a traditional G major triad. And I'm pretty confident you heard a big difference between like a D minor chord and a D minor 7 chord, right? It's kind of like it takes that minor chord and injects a little bit of like swagger into it. I don't know, there's like a coolness factor that's added when you introduce that 4th note to a triad. I wanted to record this extra part because I wanted to break down all of the basic 7 chord shapes based off of your A string and your low E string on the guitar. So starting with the A string, actually, I'm going to show you a basic way of understanding this. It's really cool because each shape is different in that it's just taking away 1 degree, or rather it's just changing the intervals a half step at a time. So let me try to explain that better by showing you. So we're going to use all of the examples in D right now. So we're going to start with a D major 7 chord. And remember, we create this D major 7 chord by adding that 7th degree to a D major triad. In other words, we add the 7th note in the D major scale to a D major chord. Make sense? So D major 7. Okay, so it sounds very dreamlike, right? Very, dreamy, very pillowy, whatever you want to call it. Here is a D major chord just to give you some reference. And now the D major 7. Okay, so to take this D major 7 and make it a D dominant 7th, we just flatten the 7th degree. And the 7th degree is gonna be right here. So that's gonna be a C sharp. And if we flatten it, it's gonna be a C. Now C is the flat 7 in a D dominant 7th chord. Just hear how it's very, jangly, jazzy. So from there, we're gonna change the dominant 7th to a minor 7th by flattening the 3rd, which is up here. We bring this down a half step. And there is our D minor 7. And then there's a couple of different things that you can do to create a diminished chord here. You can either make a D minor 7 flat 5. So you keep everything the way it is here, intervallically speaking, but you move this down 1 fret. So you move it back 1/2 step. But if you keep your fingers like this, it's gonna feel really awkward, so you could just use this shape right here. Or you could just opt for a D diminished 7. Okay, so now let's explore some examples on the low E string right here. So all these examples are going to be in A. So starting with the A major 7. Now we flatten that 7th degree to get A dominant 7th chord, which looks like this. From there, you can flatten the 3rd, doing that. You now have an A minor 7. And then finally, here is an A diminished 7. Now without talking. So, thank you for watching. I hope this was informative. I hope it was helpful. Just a reminder, you can grab the free chord charts for each example shown here in this video. Just find the link in the description below. And I was just wondering, what are your questions about 7 chords? Let me know in the comments. Talk to you soon.